Are there any other visitors?
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Gabriela Leva. I moved to Savannah 2 weeks ago. I started a new job here, and I have been researching places of worship that speak to embracing everyone. And I've only been living in this country for 4 years, almost 4 years, but my family and I have been really struggling to find community in a faith-based organization. And I'm trying things out here in Savannah, so this is why I'm here this morning.
Welcome.
I'm doing this reluctantly because I'm an introvert. I'm just visiting from Atlanta and planning to move to Savannah next summer, and so I thought I'd come to church today.
Welcome. Anyone else? If you're looking for a new faith community, we encourage you to visit several times to get a feel for our worship style and our approach to matters of faith and religion. It's good to have you all with us. Please join us in Ron Hall for refreshments following the service. You'll find Ron Hall in the next building by following the crowd through this door or the front doors, or ask the ushers. After the story for all ages and the offering, we sing short responses. The lyrics are printed in the order of service. There are 2 cards in the pew back in front of you to help us gather information for the good of our community. Use the QR code on the rainbow chalice card to sign up for our, it's a mystery, newsletter and to receive a welcome letter from our minister, or if you prefer, fill the card out by hand. The card with the red heart and chalice is for sharing a joy or sorrow. If you fill out either of these cards, please put it in the collection plate as it comes around. Church announcements are emailed to members and friends on Tuesdays and Fridays. Check your email for complete details about the following. The Music Alliance presents Home for the Holidays Cabaret on Sunday, December 21st at 3 p.m. Tickets for this concert, featuring Cecilia Arango and Natasha Drenna, are available on Eventbrite for $25, and they would also make a wonderful gift, Christmas gift. The third Tuesday's Camaraderie Club continues on December 16th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. in Ron Hall, a sharing and a support group on living in these wild and uncertain times. This month's theme is transformation. Feel free to bring a reading to share. With the lighting of our chalice, symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith, we enter into sacred times. Our chalice lighter this morning is Jim Cook. We gather as people of faith with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning, in celebration of the life we share together. Words of Christine Robinson. Thank you, Jim. We have Advent candle lighters this morning, Mira and Lydia Brigman. The theme for the third week in Advent is joy. The beating heart of the universe is holy joy. Martin Buber.
In times when despair feels reasonable and cynicism seems wise, we gather to practice radical hope. Not passive waiting, but active defiance against forces that would diminish our humanity. Together we choose hope as resistance, imagination as rebellion, and love as our most revolutionary act. Come, let us worship together. Will you rise now in spirit or in body for hymn number 224, Let Christmas Come. It's time for our story. Anyone who would like to see the pictures may come forward. Our story this morning is called The Hanukkah Hop, and you're going to learn a little bit about Hanukkah in religious education. When you go upstairs, Miss Dawn is going to go with you today because Miss Megan is sick. Rachel's twirling streamers, Daddy blows up blue balloons, Mommy sizzles latkes as she hums a Hanukkah tune. Kitzel chases dreidels, Doodle sneaks a donut treat, Parrots bobbing to a jazzy bim-bom beat. Mommy shines menorahs, Daddy cleans a space to dance, Rachel swirls with candles as she sings a bim-bom chant. Biddity bim-bom, bim-bom bop, I'll whirl all night at our Hanukkah hop. Bubbies and Zetas zoom in by plane, nieces and nephews ride buses and trains, great aunts, second cousins, old friends from afar are arriving by motorbike, camper, and car. Rachel opens the front door, swings it wide, and two-steps all of the guests inside. Biddity bim bom bop, come dance at our first ever Hanukkah hop. Gather round menorahs, rainbow candles stand in line, strike a match and chant the blessing, and flames flicker, glow, and shine. Daddy starts the singing, everyone joins along. Rachel dips and pirouettes to Rock of Ages, dreidel song. Biddity biddity bim bom bop. I flicker like the flames at our Hanukkah hop. Mommy tells the story of the band of Maccabees. Those ancient freedom fighters made a stronger army flee. They restored the ransacked temple. They relit the altar light with just a tiny bit of oil that kept burning for 8 nights. That's why we light the candles and eat crispy latkes. Yum. And tonight we dance as Rachel with a biddity biddity bomb. Biddity biddity bim bom bop. Put on your dancing shoes for our Hanukkah hop. Who wants to eat? Asked Daddy, serving platters piled up high with scrumptious, crunchy latkes, piping hot and brown and fried. Sour cream is best, says Rachel, but applesauce is tasty too. Doodle grabs a jelly donut, oozing sweet and droopy goo. Rachel gazes out the window. She sings biddity biddity bop. There are special guests still coming to our Hanukkah hop. Time to play with dreidels, and there's chocolate gelt to win. Each letter give directions, nun, gimel, hey, or shin. Give or take, none or all. See the dreidels spin and fall. I'm a dreidel watch, says Rachel. She spins, she stops, she stares. The front door opens. Yay, our special guests are here, and carrying their instruments, the klezmer band appears. Biddity biddity bim bom bop. Now we can get stomping at our Hanukkah hop. Musicians are strumming and fiddling and drumming, singing and chiming, tooting and humming. Cousins are twisting and jumping and flipping. Great aunts and uncles are stepping and dipping. Nephews are strutting. Kitzel is pouncing. Nieces are swinging. Doodles bouncing. Bubbies are tapping. Zetas are snapping. Parrot is squawking with wings flapping. Toddlers are wiggling, children are giggling, Daddy is stomping, Mama is hopping, Rachel is whirling and bim bopping, biddity biddity bim bom bop, spin, sway, swing, dive, jump, pop. The party's going wild at the Hanukkah hop. Spinning, bouncing, tapping, clapping, swaying, snapping, bounce, bouncing, wiggling, giggling, flap, flapping, hop, stomp, stop. The klezmer band is drooping. Their instruments have dropped. The streamers are falling. The balloons have all popped. Daddy's in the kitchen washing dishes and pots. Mommy brings out blankets and pillows and cots for all the snoozing guests at our Hanukkah hop. Biddity biddity bim bom bop. I'm the only one still dancing at our Hanukkah hop. Thank you for listening. I have dreidels for you today.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello, my name's Bill Pearson. Good morning. With the world being such a complex place, how can we put love at the center? How can I help to improve the quality of life? This can be an I question or a we question. What can I do or what can we do? One place to look is at role models that surround us and role models that have helped us in the past. What are their solutions to love in the center? This question led me to writing a gratitude list of teachers, friends, and families, members that have helped me improve my quality of life. When you get started writing a gratitude list, you find that the list can get pretty long. There are a lot of people to look up to, and gratitude warms the heart. I thought I would list a couple of people from the past, no particular order, that come to mind that I'm grateful for. Here it goes. Robert Clements. Oops. An artist in Athens and a retired art teacher from the University of Georgia. He helped me get involved with an organization called the Northeast Georgia Children's Environmental Health Organization and convinced me to take minutes. You can learn a lot about environmental matters by being a secretary and taking notes and minutes for an organization. And Bob and his wife also led drawing and painting outdoor events. This led me up to volunteering as a secretary for the Athens Art Association. I was given space and encouragement to work on art, and I actually sold some paintings. Another friend, Greg Wagstaff, he organized a ukulele music group and started an adult literacy program in Athens, Georgia. He gave me the opportunity to teach adult literacy and to help organize music for a ukulele group. We even had yearly concerts at the UGA Botanical Garden in Athens, where people from all over Georgia came to play the ukulele. In high school, I had two teachers that come to mind, Dr. Forcinelli and Kay Giese. They taught a course in Asian Studies, where we learned how to do some Chinese and Japanese art, such as cooking, grinding ink, making ink block prints, sumie, Chinese characters, and philosophy and origami. Their love and devotion taught us about art from a culture that is different from our own. Mary and Jeanette, two hike leaders in the Sierra Club in California. They gave me encouragement and the opportunity to lead art hikes in Northern California. I got the opportunity to draw and paint nature, help other people by seeking out beautiful locations in nature, including the beach, the mountains nearby, and riparian habitats. And the best part was, I met my wife, Jackie, there. Talk about love at the center. There are so many people in our lives that are doing so much. Who are some examples in your life that have given you inspiration and loving guidance?
Thank you, Bill. Some of us learn to count things on our fingers. Others to whisper thanks to ancestors or earth or sky. We carry different languages of gratitude, different ways of recognizing what sustains us. All of them welcome here. Reverend Michelle Collins. To donate via debit or credit card, please use the QR code on the back of the order of service or go to www.uusavannah.org and click the donate button. Mail checks are also welcomed. Our offering will now be gratefully received. Thank you for your generosity. few joys and sorrows to share. As a faith of community, we hold one another's joys and sorrow as if they were our own. Paul Winston is hospitalized at St. Joe's here in Savannah following a seizure and possible stroke. This occurred yesterday. We hold him in our love and prayers. Raven tells us that she spread her brother's ashes on Thanksgiving. Maybe he'll find a new path as he moves forward. And Kate, thankful for friends who always show up in moments of darkness as much as they do in moments of celebration. And I have a sorrow. I'm sorry for all that is happening in this world, that we see it in Rhode Island at Brown University, and we've seen it in Australia with the hate crime. And we also have it in our backyard here when Ashley Asaluki was a victim of chemical attack Wednesday in Forsyth Park. She has third-degree burns. It's going to be a long time for her in her healing. Please keep her in your heart in prayers. And it's not all bad. A joy from Laura Pottsworth. One of my joys is that we've been a member of this church for 15 years. I'm showing my gratitude and appreciation for the church and all of you by hosting the coffee house after church in Ron Hall after services. Thank you. Let us hold our joys and sorrows, spoken and unspoken, in our hearts as we join together in the responsive readings found in your order of service. Sorrow is everywhere.
Yet joy is reborn.
As we mourn together,
So we celebrate together.
And offer thanks,
That we are not alone.
so may it be now and all the days to come.
Let us enter into a spirit of meditation. Let Christmas come, we sing, when days are short and winds are cold. But a Grinch taught us years ago that we can't, in fact, stop Christmas from coming. Ready or not, like it or not, hate it or not, it comes just the same. So let us come when days are short and winds are cold. Let us come to this season with ears to hear angel songs and glad tidings, to hear ancient melodies and fresh harmonies, to hear hopes and fears of all the years. Let us come to this season with eyes to behold wonders of candlelight and firelight and brightly colored bulbs, to behold wonder in faces full of joy, to behold wonders hidden in daily rounds. Let us come to Christmastide with expectant souls to receive revelations, with spacious hearts to welcome what gifts might be offered, and with open spirits to sway and bow and lift with the blessings of the season. Let us come into the holiness of short days and cold winds and pregnant possibility. Amen.
Freedom to come to your own soul's conclusion. Reason and doubt are not labeled delusion. Faith in the interconnection of beings. These are of you wonderful things. Children are free to explore and ask questions. Ministers welcome your sermon suggestions. Dogma and credo are checked at the door. This is what liberal religion is for. You can be Christian and you can be Jewish, atheist, pagan, Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist, working together for peace we can bring. We welcome everyone, that's why we sing. When the wars rage, when we feel age, when we get the blues, we simply remember these wonderful things because we are proud. Use.
Our first reading this morning comes from the Christian scriptures from the book of Luke, chapter 1, verses 46 through 55. And Mary said, "My soul magnifies the Lord, and my spirit rejoices in God my Savior, for he has looked with favor on the lowliness of his servant. Surely from now on all generations will call me blessed, for the Mighty One has done great things for me, and holy is his name. His mercy is for those who fear him from generation to generation. He has shown strength with his arm. He has scattered the proud in the thoughts of their hearts. He has brought down the powerful from their thrones and lifted up the lowly. He has filled the hungry with good things and sent the rich away empty. He has helped his servant Israel in remembrance of his mercy, according to the promises he made to our ancestors, to Abraham and to his descendants forever." Our second reading is an excerpt from a letter written by Dietrich Bonhoeffer to his family from prison in Berlin in Advent 1943. Bonhoeffer was a German pastor, theologian, and peace activist who was imprisoned and later executed for his part in an unsuccessful conspiracy to assassinate Hitler. Although I am not at all clear about whether or how letters get to you, I want to write on this afternoon of Advent Sunday. Remember the Alterdorfer Christmas scene in which the Holy Family is depicted with the manger amidst the ruins of a broken down house? How could he, 400 years ago, against all the traditions of his time, show the scene like that? It is really contemporary. We can and should also celebrate Christmas despite the ruins around us. Did he mean to say that to his contemporaries? It certainly speaks that way to us today. I think of you as you sit together with the children and with all the Advent decorations as in earlier years you did with us. We must all do this even more intensively because we do not know how much longer we have. And finally, from Unitarian Universalist minister, the Reverend Lynn Unger, Hanukkah. Come down from the hills, Declare the fighting done. Be bold. Declare victory even when the temple is wrecked and the tyrants have not retreated, only coiled back like a snake prepared to strike again. Come down. Try to remember a life gentled by daily acts of domestic faith. The pot set to boil, the bed made up, the table set in calm expectation that when the sun sets, we will still be here. Come down and settle. Unlearn the years of hiding. Light fires that can be seen for miles, that dance and spark and warm the frozen morrow. Set lamps in the windows. Declare your presence, your loyalties, the truths for which you do not expect to have to die. It would take a miracle, you say, to carve such a solid life out of the shell of fear. I say you are the stuff from which such miracles are made. Here end our readings. Will you please rise in body or spirit for hymn number 223, Rock of Ages. Someone asked the question yesterday, and others of you may wonder. We light Advent candles in church, and I read a Hanukkah story, and I will reference Hanukkah in my sermon. But we don't light a menorah in church. Hanukkah is a home-based festival, not a temple-based festival, and it happens at night. So it would not be appropriate to light menorahs in the morning in the temple. So that's the educational moment. Now on with the sermon. When I watched The Muppets Christmas Carol this week, I enjoyed the music and the humor and the artistry, and I was struck by something that probably only students of Christian cultural history, even casual ones like myself, would notice. Two competing visions of Christmas. One that was waning in the 19th century and one on the rise in the same period. The revelry and excess and drinking at Scrooge's old boss Fozziwig's party were typical of a long period of time in which drunken revelry was the predominant celebration of Christmas. Such bacchanalia were tied to ancient Roman celebrations of Saturnalia in mid-December, characterized by drunkenness, feasting, role reversal, and gift-giving. Meanwhile, the domesticity of the Cratchit family Christmas and the charitable collections of the men who visit Scrooge's place of business are emblematic of a deliberate attempt to rectify those excesses of early Christmas celebrations by refocusing the holiday on the home, on children, and on good works. That was new, this focus on home and children and good works. And yet it is the old Christmas that many people long for when they decry the commercialization of contemporary Christmas, even though it wasn't all that long ago from a broad historical perspective, and more importantly, even though from the very beginning the shift toward domesticity and children brought with it consumption and spending. That specific flaw in the let's get back to Christmas as it used to be argument is a sermon for another year. What's important to me these days, and in fact has been on my mind going back to last December, is the way that for centuries Christmas, alongside and mixed up with Yule or the solstice, and to a lesser extent Hanukkah and Kwanzaa, has functioned as a sort of blank canvas upon which segments of Christianity and secular culture alike cast their visions of the meaning and proper observance of the holiday. The reason for the season has never been exclusively the birth of Christ 2 millennia ago in Bethlehem. Many of you have probably seen a couple of memes that have circulated through social media the past few Decembers. One of them depicts apparently homeless Joseph and Mary in front of a bodega. Joseph pages through yellow pages, propping the receiver of a payphone between his shoulder and ear. Signs in the window behind him advertise Wiseman cigarettes and Star beer. Pregnant Mary sits astride a coin-operated rocking horse, her sweatshirt emblazoned Nazareth School. In the background, a lighted Dave's Motel sign declares no vacancy and new manger, manager with the A missing. The second meme, in the vibrant colors and style of icons, shows the Holy Family as undocumented immigrants crossing a moonlit desert. Joseph with a backpack, Mary with Jesus wrapped in a shawl, worn baby carrying sling style across her chest. This December, those memes have been joined by photographs of nativity scenes at several churches in different U.S. cities. In some of these scenes, the stable, devoid of human figures, displays a sign reading, "Ice was here," suggesting that the Holy Family has been detained. Other scenes, likewise devoid of human figures, display signs stating that the Holy Family is in hiding due to ICE activity in the neighborhood. And still others, the infant Jesus is shown with zip ties around his wrists. Meanwhile, as we heard in this morning's second reading, back in 1943 Germany, sitting in prison, Europe in ruins around him, Dietrich Bonhoeffer recalled and described Albrecht Altdorfer's 1513 depiction of the Holy Family sheltering in the ruins of a destroyed building. That painting shows Mary and Joseph and the baby in the manger barely visible behind a crumbling brick pillar under a wood-beamed floor only partially intact. Through his recollection of this sharp contrast to other Renaissance-era nativities that were plush or pastoral or ornate, the theologian urges the celebration of Christmas even amidst contemporary ruin. I can hear the cries of the victims of the imaginary war on Christmas. How dare you paint our holly jolly holiday with a woke brush? Politics out of Christmas. Why can't we just have a nice, traditional, pious, cozy, and bright Christmas? Oh, so many answers to those objections. Woke wasn't a thing in 1943 or in 1513, so my reading an 82-year-old Bonhoeffer letter aloud here this morning, and Bonhoeffer himself describing a painting from 400 years prior to his writing of that letter, these aren't indications of wokeness. They are reports of historical events, a letter that was written, a painting that was painted. Second, as I have already mentioned, there never was a purely wholesome or non-consumer-driven Christmas, and the holly jolly Christmas celebrated in song and television and movies was at times jolly to dangerous extremes. Furthermore, there have been periods of time in which, and groups of Christians for whom, the birth of Christ was little more than a blip on the church calendar. No decorations, no feasts, no gifts, no music, not even a day off work or a church service. In addition to all these ways, Christmas has been that blank canvas onto which visions of society have been cast. In recent decades, religious progressives, including but not limited to Unitarian Universalists, in a commitment to interfaith understanding, have increasingly lifted up the theme of light in the darkness of the Northern Hemisphere winter that is common across holidays from Hanukkah to solstice, Advent and Christmas to Kwanzaa. False equivalencies, appropriation, and transmission of shallow or incorrect information and practices are but a few pitfalls inherent in such an approach to the holidays. And there is power and potential in celebrating interfaith and cross-cultural similarities. Deepening understanding, breaking barriers, combining economic and other community resources are among the benefits. Candles, fire, and colored bulbs shining forth from deep darkness, central to Advent, Christmas, Yule, Hanukkah, and Kwanzaa, are striking, evocative symbols of hope, perseverance, guidance, and possibility. They are the most frequently highlighted points of connection between these December observances, but they are not the only point of connection. As I wrote in my December column last year, the theme of revolution also unites these holidays and holy times that are, in terms of history, significance, practice, and ritual, so very different one from another. We could cast all the various celebrations coming at us in this month as revolutionary, I wrote last year. That is to say, upsetting the natural or expected order of things. Christmas, a baby in place of a mighty ruler, a baby whose birth nevertheless brought terror to the heart of Herod, a baby who would grow into a man who would disrupt the accepted order of things over and over again, showing a preference for the outcast, a disregard for the letter of religious law. Revolutionary leadership. Yuletide, solstice. Peoples of the Northern Hemisphere for centuries and still today celebrating in the longest nights of the darkest time of the year in defiance of a perfectly understandable impulse to cower in the fear that the sun might never return. Revolutionary revelry. Hanukkah. The Maccabees resisting both the attractions of Hellenization and the coercion to submit to it. Jews throughout the ages and around the globe holding tight to their identity. Revolutionary resistance. Kwanzaa, a holiday born out of the Watts riots, calling African American families and communities to honor their heritage, celebrate their existence, envision their future, all that was then and is still now under attack. Revolutionary celebration. One of the songs of the season insists we need a little Christmas now. If I remember the scene correctly, Mame and her hybrid chosen bio family were starting the decorating a bit early because of a run of bad luck and disappointments that had them needing a little cheer right then, not later. In 2024, I wrote, "This Christmas we need a little revolution now. Let's look to these holidays and holy times for reminders that revolution takes many forms, shows up in unlikely places, sometimes looks like something else, and while it demands our hearts, it often lifts our spirits too." We still need a little revolution now in 2025, more so even than last year. We need the revolutionary message of homeless, migrant, Holy Family memes that are in fact not woke, but rather in their portrayal of the least of these harken back to Mary's declaration upon learning she was pregnant with God's child. He has brought down the powerful from their thrones and lifted up the lowly. He has filled the hungry with good tidings and sent the rich away empty. We need the revolutionary message of courageous pastors and church boards and congregations displaying nativity scenes that aren't so much political as they are profoundly prophetic. Stark reminders that from before his birth, Jesus was destined to upset the order of society and was therefore from the moment of his birth in danger at the hands of empire. We need the revolutionary message sent by celebrations of the sun in the shortest days of the year, calling us to trust in the return and the growth of things we cannot yet see, things of power, of life, of possibility. We need the revolutionary message of Hanukkah menorah burning in the windows of homes for 8 nights, assuring us that miracles do happen here, now in the age of reason and information, and many miracles are born of faith and perseverance. We need the revolutionary message of the Kinara, with its red, black, and green candles standing for the 7 principles of Kwanzaa, declaring the strength there is in knowing who we are, who our community is, and what values that community holds together. From the Bacchanalia-tinged revelry and excesses of the Middle Ages to Puritan-era edicts forbidding the observance of the holiday, from 19th century attempts to domesticize the holiday and up through the late 20th century, early 21st century impulse toward lifting up deep and seemingly universal themes running through Christmas and other winter holidays, Through all these ages and societies, observances of Christmas, the music, the images, the rituals, both reflect and shape the needs, the values, the events of any given era. It makes sense, therefore, that today, when unfettered presidential power and obscene wealth in the hands of the few, coupled with insatiable greed, are destroying lives, devastating communities, flouting the rule of law, and smashing the fabric of our country, it makes sense at this moment in history that artists and faith leaders and faith communities are bringing forth prophetic elements of the story of Jesus' conception, birth, and early years, and calling our attention to contemporary empire and injustice, drawing parallels between that ancient story and our lives today. May we find in these installations and works of art and the old familiar songs, stories, and poems both inspiration and sustenance to engage in the revolution that will save our world. Amen. Will you please rise in body or spirit for hymn number 166, Years Are Coming. When the candles dim, the wax almost spent, the light turns amber like a sunset. Still, it provides light. Still, it provides heat. Still, it can kindle new flame and pass its glow on and contribute to new illumination. When sunset turns to new days, when seasons transform all, when the candle dims, all is not lost. Hope continues, uncertain and true, like candlelight, ready to spark again. All is not lost. Amen.